down there because they're big ag too.
Yeah.
Along, it's kind of like it is here in Perryton. A lot of people farm and ranch that have these little things that go up and down out in the middle of the pasture. And,
oh, yeah.
And some of them that don't go up and down just kind of sit there and spew out natural gas. But which it is, by the way, picking up. I didn't get to do the markets this morning because I'm out here. I guess I could always look them up, but oil and gas
in between the cattle and the sheep show.
Yeah, I could. But we're anticipating a outstanding show. You'll see if you go to Facebook Live that it's a good-sized arena. I think it's bigger.
Yeah, I think
longer. It's the same width because they didn't move. However, they moved those seatings back just a little bit. They're closer to that concession stand.
Yeah, it's bellied out more on this.
Yeah. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pins over there to move them into when he's picked up the. Oh, we want to remind them. Can you talk for about 3 minutes while I go get the menu?
Oh, that's an important
concession stand. Yeah, I meant to do that earlier.
All right.
I'll be right back.
Well, yeah. All right. Well, folks, Isaiah Tanner here with you for KEYE 1400 AM Your Country 93.7 My FM, and coming out to do the stock show today. My third time doing it. John's unknown number time of doing it. He's been doing it for a while, folks. Holy cow. But we're ready to get this one underway. We did our research this year to where hopefully sound a little smarter than we did last year. That's always the plan. Just be smarter than what you were before. We're going to get this one underway. Well, it was supposed to start at 8:30, but it hasn't started yet. So they're all gathered up over there at the announcer's booth, trying to figure out what all's going on. Got a couple of people getting their animals ready. Richard Collins is messing with me, but got a couple people getting their animals ready. They got an interesting cattle chute over there. It's got LED lights all around it, and it is an interesting thing. And I'm getting watched right now by a couple of people. It's kind of weird, but yeah, that's a high-tech looking cattle chute over there. It's got LED lights all over it. Just make sure you can't miss anything. And our fearless leader has returned.
Yeah, I got somebody in tow with me too, Jared. I thought he was walking away. Come around the front, Jared. Yeah, Jarrett Blasingame, we were speaking with him, and this is his first ever job. Of course, nobody can't recognize the Blasingame name. You can just hold that if you want to.
Kick this thing off.
Okay, Jarrett, welcome to the show. Thanks for coming by.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
You bet. You took over when? What day? What month?
Would have been back in July of
21.
21, yeah. It's 22 already. Can't believe it.
Yeah. We were talking yesterday, and Joe Bonney left, and you just graduated from college when?
May of 2020.
May of 2020. So you've been out about a year.
Yes, sir.
And what did you do in between that and the time you took this job?
So did a little bit of grad school for a while, but with COVID and everything, it just kind of was.
It's kind of a pain,
exactly.
Isn't it?
I didn't want to be staring at a computer screen all day, so got back home, was working on the farm, and got lucky here and found a good job. So.
You bet. Yeah, right at home. Had you planned on coming home?
Yes, that was always the plan from the beginning, coming back home.
We're going to have the national
anthem. All right, let's kick this off. The first class steers.
I guess, was that a prayer?
Yeah, they did a prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. Now we're getting going.
Okay, we missed that. But anyway, Jarrett, excuse me. What's kind of gotten your what is the most difficult thing that you didn't anticipate?
You know, I think the most difficult thing is probably figuring out how to put more hours in a day. There's just not enough time in a day to get everything done. There's so many different aspects to this job. It's great. But no, overall, it's been pretty good. I mean,
Did you take FFA in school?
yes, sir. So I
Okay.
was.
Were you you weren't into 4-H, you were in the FFA?
So I was in 4-H when I was real young, and then switched over and mainly did FFA all the way
Okay.
through, and was real involved with Mr. LeCompte.
So you had an idea of what he did.
Yes, exactly.
Probably not everything, but
Oh no, by no means. I still don't know how he does it all, but I'm learning slowly, so it's been good.
well, what do you really enjoy the most so far?
Oh, I mean, I think by far the best part is getting to interact with those kids. My students, they're fantastic, and they just really, I mean, they work hard. I give them
This
any
first
task,
class
and
gonna
they're
be your
always
English steers.
always willing to jump on it.
Weights
It's
gonna
really
be
fun to
anywhere
watch them
from
grow
1,254
with their confidence,
to
because we do a lot of speaking events
1,202.
early on in the fall, and then
we have
again
Lake
later in the
Vauxhall,
spring, and
Maddie
watching them grow
Shigadance,
from,
and
you know,
Jake
not feeling comfortable to
Shigadance.
talk in front of anybody, to be able to stand up and give a presentation to not only, you know, some judges at a contest, but here in the community with either going to Lions Club or Rotary or some other
While we have these
organizations.
steers walking in
It's
here,
really
let's go
fun
ahead and
watching them
welcome our
grow
judge here.
and do that
This
kind
year
of
our
stuff.
judge
Is there
Nathan
also
Sorg
studying,
from
book
Highfield,
studying in
Texas.
vocational ag?
He runs
There is some,
livestock
and
here
it
in
just kind of
Highfield. Been
depends
doing that for
on
about 8
what these
years.
kids are kind of wanting to go
Graduated
into a little bit
Tarleton
more and what
University.
classes they're
Was on
in.
the national
Um,
championship meat
I mean, we've
testing
looked
team.
at some different
Let's give a round
stuff,
of
anywhere
applause
from
and welcome
animal
Greg
genetics
Texas.
to some soil studies and different things like that. So it
Yeah.
just kind of depends on what avenue they're in, what
So,
pathway
but
they're
they
going.
do get grades,
Yes, they do get some grades. So.
and but participation would be a big part of that. I
Oh
would
yeah,
presume.
participation's a huge part.
Yeah, yeah. Well, listen, we appreciate you coming by, and looking forward to. You've got some kids out there. I don't know whether those are all 4-H members or what are the majority of your kids showing?
I've actually got a pretty good mix of everything
Do you?
today. Some steers, some sheep and goats, and pigs, lots of pigs. So, bunch of good stuff.
Okay, all right. So, what is your job during the show?
I'm mainly here to just kind of go around and help out wherever I can, and mainly here to support these kids and make sure they're getting where they need to go and
All right,
doing what they need to do.
good enough. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate
Anytime.
it.
Good to see ya.
You bet. You too. Jarrett Blassingame, the new vocational ag teacher here at Perryton, replacing a long-time Giovanni LeCompte. So we are in. Have you been paying attention?
We're in the first class of English steers. Lakin Boxwell's in the ring, Maddie Shigadance, as well as Jake Shigadance.
All right, English steers.
Yeah, and these are starting off at about 1,200 pounds.
They, the English steers are
This year's beef superintendent
pretty
is
much,
Stephen Holmes. His assistant is
Angus,
Stephen Wright.
Hereford.
Also, our general superintendent is Tommy Butler.
Some of the
Assistant
other steers are
superintendent
going to be
Gary Murray.
crossbreeds.
Secretary Treasurer is Ron.
Got a lot of different crossbreeds, but that looks like maybe a shorthorn out there with the one that's red. Could
Yeah.
be a Hereford. I don't know. Do they list them? They don't. Do they?
No, but
Just English.
Herefords tend to be with the totally white face.
Yeah.
And that
Has
got
a
more
star
red
on its
than-
face.
Yeah.
So I did some research on some of these exotics, Simmentals, Branby. The Angus steers come from Scotland, folks, and they've been around a long time. They kind of got mixed in with other polled breeds that were breed there in the Aberdeen, Banff, Kincardine, and Angus counties in Scotland. And I was reading along, and according to the OSU, we might as well give them credit for
Yeah, might as well.
for giving us a lot of information. But a Mr. Watson, back in the 1700s, early 1800s, is credited with having probably the most famous bull. His name is Old Jock 126,
Did you see how much they sold him for?
$5,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
5 million today.
Is it?
I don't know,
Oh, okay.
but as long, I mean, a couple of 100 years.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. And then there was a famous cow that bred 35. Died when she was 35. Did you see that?
Yeah, struck by lightning.
Struck by lightning, man, and produced 29 calves.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And she was called Old Granny.
Then George Grant brought him to America back in 1873, specifically in Victoria, Kansas.
But you know, as I was looking through at some of these animals, it's tough to tell. Even though they're black, that doesn't necessarily mean they're all Angus either.
Right. Yeah.
So, what was the heaviest one? Did you say 1,200?
They're starting out at 1,200. Heaviest one is going to be shown by Jake Schickadance, 1,292 pounds.
They don't look like they weigh 1,292 pounds.
Oh, but they will when they hit you.
Yeah, and we're seeing them from the side, and when you look at them from the back or from the front, then you see how wide they are and how muscled they are. But good-looking animals, and of course the Angus breed has really come on strong, and
I think
from a
a
marketing
really nice class to
standpoint.
start the morning off with, and definitely some differences in types and kinds, and you could probably mix some of these up a little bit, and I wouldn't necessarily argue with me. In my mind, the one that starts is definitely the stout burly one of the class, and maybe gives up just a little bit of frame and maybe overall extension and look compared to the two behind him, but that's the overall power calf that's really bold through his center body and real big top, real big ended, and it got a little extra shot of bone and hair in that one. Like I said, we'd like to extend that one out just a little bit and maybe clean that one up as far as joints and flexibility, but I think we get out and go just good enough compared to what's behind him in class. The one that comes in two, that's probably the best balanced one in here, just as far as get out and go and structure and design. It just gives up a little bit of power and mass to move up any higher. The one that comes in threes, maybe just a little rougher in its kind there, but definitely the most extended and coolest up front. Probably gives up just a little bit of bone and mass. We'd like to drop a little rear flank in that one to be any more competitive today, but a very nice trio to start the morning with.
And that's going to be from Judge Macon Stork, and he put Lakin Boxwell in first, Maddie Schickadance second, and Jake Schickadance in third place. Coming up, we got Class 2. Still steers. Dane Staggs coming in, along with Sydney Schickadance.
And they're a little bigger.
Yeah. About 200 pounds bigger.
Yeah. Here comes the man, Mr. Scott. Yeah, he put that on too. You can hear us better that way. Don't have to worry about whether you. How's that sound?
Good.
Okay. Well, you will be.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
Talk to us about these steers.
Okay, well, we broke these steers into two breed divisions. We have English and then basically exotic cross, European cross is what they are. But the English breeds are primarily Hereford, Angus, Shorthorn. And anyway, we'll get a breed champion out of the class winners on that British division, and then we'll bring in the European crosses, exotics, but they're primarily a cross of Maine Anjou. You know, a lot of them are Angus-based cattle, but they have Maine Anjou or Limousin or Simmental. A lot of those are European breeds that came over. Charolais, you know, people have heard of Charolais before. Yeah. It's kind of a common breed, but anyway, we'll get a breed champion out of that, and they'll come back for grand.
You were talking about Shorthorn, Angus, and Hereford. Shorthorn, I just never did have any exposure to that breed by itself. Angus and Hereford, you know, a lot of registered Angus and Hereford bred.
Right.
I always thought Shorthorn was some kind of a general, but it's an actual breed, isn't it?
Yeah, and they call those British breeds because they primarily shorthorns.
Yeah.
They said English or British, but they originated in basically the United Kingdom, or the British Isles, but usually Scotland or England or Ireland. I think shorthorn, if I remember right, it's Irish. There's an Irish breed.
Yes.
But it was considered a dual-purpose breed years ago, where it was a milking breed and meat.
Yes.
And they weren't really as meaty as they are now. They're primarily now considered just beef cattle.
Yeah.
And they've bred a lot of the dairy characteristics out of them. When you breed the dairy out of them, they start getting heavier muscles. But when you look at a dairy cow, you don't want that dairy cow to be real fleshy.
No.
Because when you feed her, you want that feed
going directly to the milk.
That's right. And so years ago, shorthorn cattle, they when you showed them as steers, they weren't as heavy muscled as it. But now that's not the case. They've bred the muscle into them now. And
there's a picture of one. He's a big old bull up here on the top, and they're I guess they're all pretty much red, or red with a little white maybe, but mostly red and polled too, aren't they?
Most of them are. Well, they're shorthorns, but they've bred a lot of these cattle to where now they're polled primarily. You don't see as many horns on cattle as you used to, and just because of marketing purposes, and you don't have to deal with dehorning cattle and that sort of thing. So genetically, a lot of cattle are polled anyway.
Yes.
As a producer, you don't. That's another management deal you don't have to deal with if they're polled.
I was reading about the Hereford breed, which was really popular up until about the late 60s.
Yes.
And they were talking about how they, in the 60s and 50s and prior to that, they came over from Scotland, I believe, or England.
Yeah.
And they were bred because they produced a lot of fat, which obviously makes your meat tender. But in the 60s, late 60s and 70s, they wanted to start getting away from that and have more just plain old muscle meat.
Sure. Well, and we've discovered lately that tenderness is more inherited than fed. The fat is your flavor in the beef.
Is that right?
And
so the marbling, I always heard that the marbling was why it was tender, but you're saying some of it is just genetics.
Well, it helps with tenderness in the fact that if you have fat interdispersed in that muscle, when you cook it, it stays juicy, but that's still more of a flavor issue.
Yeah.
But the muscle fiber tenderness is actually inherited. And a lot of these breeds have actually isolated the tenderness gene. But the thing is, it's still so random that they haven't been able to just say definitely every time. But they're starting to select cattle that carry this tenderness gene. I think over time we're going to see more and more beef that'll have this is going to show up. But a lot of times
without the fat.
Well,
without as much.
You're right, but you look at a Wagyu. Wagyu cattle came from Japan, and this is where you hear this Kobe beef.
Yeah.
And they're highly marbled cattle. They have a lot of fat interspersed through that. Plus,
is that the way they're fed, or is that genetic?
Genetic. And then they put on fat easy, and then they also marble easy, but then their muscle is tender, and so that's why they're real popular.
Again, this class,
they're becoming popular.
Stags, this won 1401. Sydney Shigadance, hers won.
Now you can see the 1,400 pounds in that Hereford, can't you?
Yeah, and I don't know what the weight range is on these two.
These are 1412 and 1401, weren't they?
Yeah, there's not any difference in them.
Yeah, they're considerably larger. That black one's a tall one.
Oh yeah.
Really nice pair.
Well, and then when you put your hands on them, they're fat. Let's listen to what he says.
I think there's definitely some differences. Yet these are a little more similar in kind than the class we had before. The one I'm going to start with, just a little smoother and better design when you get off to the side. I think this was really sound, really complete. Got some extras as far as extension and look up front. The one that comes in too, that's definitely a great presented one that's really good haired, and the young man does a great job getting that one shown. When we get it into motion, that one just gets a little piece here down his top, and maybe not put together quite as well as the one that comes in front of him, but a really neat pair of them there.
All right, Sydney Shigadan's the winner, and Dane
Staggs
the second place. The Hereford won it.
Yeah.
Okay,
You know, he was probably just a little bit more finished and a little more.
And that little girl's not more than a wisp, and she's that calf is well trained.
Oh yeah.
Well trained.
Yeah, and Dane did a great job showing that Angus steer.
Yeah.
So now we're going to go for breed champion, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm happy to see the Herefords come back. My dad was a registered Hereford breeder, and we quit it probably right around the 60s.
Right.
And it just was more trouble than it was worth. You have to make the shows. You have to do well at the shows for it to pay, and it's a lot of work because they've got horns. You got to. We branded the horns.
Sure.
With the numbers, and we put the ear tags. We put the tattoo in the ear, and.
Winning that class number 2 is Sydney Shigadance. Hers won 1,470.
So yeah, we're going for breed champion.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the ring right now is Sydney Shigadance and Lakin Boxwell.
Neither one of them is very big.
No.
The lightweight class winner was Shorthorn, and that heavyweight is a Hereford.
Yeah. I'm just partial to the Herefords. I like the style of them, not all the same color, you know. And this one's well marked too. I remember you didn't want a line back. You didn't have any white on the back. It was a no-no. And but they are filled out, no question.
Right. Well, and when you look at any breed, they have their advantages and disadvantages. They'll talk about, you know, and so that's why we cross them, because then you start getting hybrid vigor, you know. But
yeah,
they bring the, you know, of course, we all like to think when we cross one, here's its advantages, and then this other breed, it's their advantages. They bring them all, but you have to remember they bring their disadvantages too.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
That Shorthorn is red except for the belly and a little star on the head and the tail. Is that purebred? I guess it is, isn't it?
No, he's probably crossed a little bit, but they try to, at least on these show steers, they're going to have the purebred characteristics, at least the coloring.
Yes.
You know, but there's some cross in there.
Yeah.
But they're going to, when we go to these major shows, these kids have to go in front of a committee to have them classified to show in that breed. And if they don't meet those characteristics, they'll
cut them.
Well, and they'll put them in a different breed, but they fit better. So
come back in for the drive, and definitely there's two different types of kinds here. I realize that, but I do think even though they're not a match pair, that was the highest quality out of their respective classes. I think they come out and they both offer a lot of good. And just to kind of slow talk them again, the one out of class 1, that's definitely the stout, powerful one. Got some extras just in terms of bone and mass, and I think he's not perfect everywhere, but I think he comes out and handles himself really well. And like I said, we'd probably like to clean that one up to his front end a little bit, maybe get a little shot more of expression and look up front as compared to the one in class 2, whereas that's the good balance, great design one that gets out and goes really well. I mean, in my mind, it gets pretty close, and personal preference, and we're going to use the Young Ladies lightweight to win.
okay, the breed champion is going to be the lightweight, that Shorthorn calf.
So Shorthorn wins it, and Hereford. Yeah. Oh, I had you turned down.
Yeah. So Lakin Boxwell is going to be breed champion, and then that means that Maddie Shickadance should be coming in next.
Okay, winning the breed champion was Lakin Boxwell. Now the second place out of that first class will come in Maddie Shickadance for compete with the reserve breed champion English.
So their sisters showing against each other?
Yep.
Yeah, so the second place lightweight calf came in because the first place won champion.
Yes.
And you got that first place heavyweight still out there.
So this will get you your
reserve.
Wasn't it you were telling me that Herefords were making a little bit of a comeback?
A little bit. You know, they really cross great with, you know, especially like Angus cattle, and that's where you get those black white-faced cattle, you know, black bald-faced cattle. And so they're making somewhat of a comeback. I don't know if they're really sought after to be just straight blood Herefords in the feed yards, and there's a lot of feed efficiency discussions about straight bred Herefords and that sort of thing, but I don't want to get too deep into that right now.
Of course, part of it, and I'm speaking mainly from the standpoint of marketing.
Back in.
Yes.
It definitely adds to the choices here, and I think fits in really well. And we kind of come down to two pretty similar in kind and very functional sound, good built ones. For me, there's one that's just got an edge in terms of presence and agility, and one that I think's got a real exciting future. We're going to use the young lady second for the reserve.
All right. It's going to be Maddie Schickadance.
And Lydia, is that her name? The younger one?
Sydney.
Sydney. So Maddie won, and Sydney came in in second. We're going to take a short break and let the coffee break outro play. And before we're going to play that, I'm going to thank these sponsors of the livestock show: Hargis Trucking, Scribner Construction, Ochiltree General Hospital, Western Equipment, Lemon Law Firm, Panhandle Producers and Royalty Owners Association, Plains Land Bank, Boxwell Brothers, United Food Store, Perryton Ochiltree Chamber of Commerce, Perryton Insurance, Interstate Bank, Motor Parts, First Bank Southwest, and Equity Exchange. Who put the sawdust in the ring?
It's the OCJLA, the Ochiltree County Junior Livestock Association.
Okay.
They're the sponsoring organization.
Somebody had donated in the past, I thought.
Well, we've gotten shavings donated from Equity.
Okay.
For the kids to use in their pens, and then they purchased, the association purchased the shavings that go in the arena.
You bet. And we also want to thank PTCI. If you're watching via live stream on our Facebook page, PTCI came out and put us in a nice Wi-Fi and got lots of power, and we appreciate it. And that's going to do it for Coffee Break, but we're going to be live right after the outro.
Okay, I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay.
When they start the heifer show, I can come back.
Thanks for listening to the KEYE Coffee Break. Enjoy the rest of your day, and join us again next time for the KEYE Coffee Break on your country, KEYE, and 93.7 My FM.
And we're back on the air. Exotic breeds now being shown out there. Who we got out there?
We got Victoria Wright, Isaac Ariano, and Kylie Cowan.
What are the weights on those?
Starting off, well, they're all 1,100.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they're just lighter weights and also, but they are exotic breeds.
Yeah.
I was doing some research courtesy of Scott Strawn, sent us to the OSU website, and some of these breeds are pretty interesting. Chianina,
Yeah.
Chianina, Simmental, I'm familiar with them. And how do you pronounce it? Branvay?
I lost my paper.
Branvay?
Yeah, I think it's Bronby.
Bronby.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and Canada imported the first Bronby. Some of these are all mixtures of various ones. The one that's most recognizable, I believe, is the one that is white over there, and I believe that's going to be a Charolais.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Could be a mix, but it's Charolais from France.
Yeah.
Provinces of Charolais, Charolles. That isn't the way they spell their breed name. It's Charolais, but west central, southeastern France. Just wanted to breed a white breed of cattle, like other cattle in continental Europe, used for draft, milk, and meat. And we've talked about the Angus, which are out there right now. 2 of them.
Yeah, we got one of them being shown by Kylie Cowan and another one by Isaac Ariano.
Really nice class to start this division off with, and I think the one that wins does so pretty easily in my mind. I think that one just got the most of everything. That one gets out and goes well. He's really stout featured and big back, real powerful from behind. And I love that one's just build and proportions. And I think when you get off and look at that one to the side, he just does everything right and paints a really good picture. I think that one's got a really exciting future. The one that comes in too, same type of kind, I think is the one that wins, just not quite as much of that one today. And I think that one's better days are ahead of him. And when you get some pounds and maturity on him and kind of get that one busted open and add just pounds of just true muscle and power in him to compete with the monster that comes in first. The one that comes in 3, that's a really good built one, really good design. I like the extra extension and look up front. Just gets outpowered in terms of feature and muscle and just overall power compared to the 2 that come in front of him. But a really nice trio to start with.
All right.
Okay, give us the results on that one. He didn't mention names, doesn't know any names.
Now, that's Victoria Wright came in first, Isaac Ariano came in second, and Kylie Cowan rounded out the class in third.
Kylie Cowan.
And we're about to get Class 4 underway.
Maddie Shigadance.
Same breed, same division.
Williams.
Going exotic steers. Maddie Shigadance is going to be coming in along with Tana Williams and Jake Shigadance.
And I've got pictures so we can see what they look like and maybe tell what their breed is. They don't list the breeds, it just says exotic, right? Yeah,
right.
Exotic is all it says. Doesn't say where they what the breeds are, and I guess there's really no way of knowing the percentage of any of them. One of them's giving a little bit of trouble trying to get him in the show ring here. One of the Shigadances. I believe.
Yeah, it's Jake Shigadance coming in, leading off the class.
He's got certainly an Angus cross with something.
Yeah.
Then you've got
I believe that's Tana Williams. Yeah.
Okay.
That's Tana Williams behind him, and then coming in, being the last person in the class, is Maddie Shigadance.
You know, he listed, Scott listed Kianina as a part perhaps of crossing on these breeds, and Kianina is just flat white.
Yeah.
And very long-legged. Look at that.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that white one out there is Charlet or Kianina.
That looks a little too short to be or short-legged, I guess.
Right.
To be a Kiania. You know, there's a song that can help you learn all the breeds of cattle.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You going to sing it for us?
No.
Well,
it's by
it.
Cora Blund. It's called Cows Around.
Cows Around.
Yeah, it tells about all the different problems you could have without cows around.
Without cows around.
Because what's going to get out if you don't lock the gate? It's cows. And then he goes through.
If they get out, they're not around anymore, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
He goes through and sings all the different breeds.
Well, we've got somebody picking up the cow dookie.
Yeah, that's a OCJLA junior board member.
Okay.
And they just started that. My junior year. I was on the first one,
The junior board?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My junior year of high school is when they started it, and I was actually lucky enough to be on the first one.
Yeah.
And
when was this?
Oh, shoot. I think I graduated in 19, so that would have been 2017, 2018, somewhere in there.
Well, that wasn't that long ago.
No.
You're still just a whippersnapper.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, let's remind people of what we can eat here. Biscuits with sausage gravy, $1. Let's see, $2. 2 biscuits is $4. Breakfast burrito. Sausage, egg, and cheese, $4. Nachos, cheese, chili cheese, nachos, Frito pies, cheeseburger, hamburger, meal. Got pickles and drinks. Got coffee, hot chocolate, bottled water, bottled soft drinks. You know what? You want something to drink? I'm going to go get some coffee.
I'll just take a water.
Okay. I'll be right back.
All right. Folks, here we go. They're walking around the ring right now. Jake Schickadance leading off the class. Maddie Schickadance at the end of the line. Her steer giving her a little bit of trouble there. Oh, he's not liking her today at all, is he? But Tana Williams behind Jake. And Judge Macon Stork is giving them all a good look. And Maddie Schickadance really having some trouble with her steer today. But Jake Schickadance and Tana Williams are both calm, cool, and collected with theirs. You know, everybody is. And Macon Stork is given placings. And Jake Schickadance is going to be first. Maddie Schickadance second, I believe, and Tana Williams third. I could be wrong on that.
Class here, in my opinion. I think the one that wins does so pretty easily. Just overall the most powerful one in here. Add an extra feature and overall bone to that one, and really square down his top. Comes out of a big, powerful hip. But I think that one proportions really well. Gets around and moves good. And that's a very, very stout good one to start the class with. The one that comes into really neat when you get off to the side, I like his head and neck, and that one just gives up a little power, both up high when you get on top of him and down at the surface compared to the one that wins. And the one that comes in three is a really good looking, really good design one. Extra extension and look up front, just doesn't quite have the power and the feature, just overall mass is that pair that comes ahead of it, but a really nice trio there to compete against.
And so that's going to be finalized class placings for Class 4 is Jake Schickadance first place, Maddie Schickadance second place, and Tana Williams third place. Great showmanship in that show ring right there, folks. And Class 5 coming up is going to be Lake and Boxwell. Wonder who's going to win that class. Just kidding, folks. It's only Lake and Boxwell that's in the class. And 4-H alumni Tyler O'Quinn helping out with the steer show today. She had that is a short calf. Man, that thing is short. But so, getting Class 5 underway here with Lake and Boxwell. And sorry about that Facebook Live volume, folks. It should be. I'm cranking it as much as I can without it being bad, but. And Macon Stork giving a good look at it. All right. Man, John, you're the best boss. Brought me biscuits and gravy. All right. And Lake and Boxwell showing a 1,300-pound exotic steer. That thing is pretty short, though, it looks like. At least it's just low to the ground. I'll turn this a little bit so y'all can see. And I think we're going to get some reasons from him now about what he likes about the steer.
Single entry here, but one that I think's got a lot of good and a lot of neat pieces, just in terms of power and moderation, and one that gets out and to be that stout and burly, he still goes good and hits the surface well. One that I'd probably like to to extend a little bit up front, put a little more look and wow factor in that one, and maybe clean up his front end just a little bit. But I think a really, really stout, powerful one to bring in there. They could definitely stand a little more competition when we bring it back out.
All right, so that's going to be first place Lake and Boxwell coming out of Class 5.
Class 5 be Lake and Boxwell.
And
Now
then
we'll roll into Class 6. 2 entries in Class 6. Sydney
we got
Chicken
Class
Dance,
6 coming in
steer
here.
going at 14,
We got 2 entries in it, both
and
1,400
Victoria
pounders.
Wright with her steer
Sydney
weighing
Chicken
at
Dance showing
14.32.
an exotic steer, along with
Again, these
Victoria
are the
Wright
exotic
showing
steers.
another exotic
Yeah,
steer.
last class of exotic steers, and then after
And
that
then
we'll
this
go
is
on
the
to
last
breed
class of them.
champions.
Then we're going to have breed champion, and then we'll do grand champion for the steers after that. And we're waiting on them to get here.
At some point in time, we're going to have to quit so we can eat these biscuits.
That's true.
But we'll leave it going.
Yeah.
People can
Here,
see it on the Facebook Live. Where are we?
we're going into Class 6 right now
Okay.
of exotic steers.
They're moving them right along, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. You know, he took a while with that second class, but then after that, he's just been
What's his name again?
Macon Stork,
M-A-C-O-N?
Maycon.
Okay, Macon Stork. Did it say where he's from?
No, I haven't heard anything about him today. Might go ask around, do some investigative
I think
journalism.
they said that he'd been here before. I didn't remember that name, but
Yeah, because I don't know. If he was here, he would have just been here last year because they switch him out every 2 years.
every 2 years, yeah. That's just kind of a local policy, isn't it?
Yeah. Tyler Cook, being the good, responsible OCJLA junior board member that he is
Doing a good job of cleaning up, isn't
yeah, doing a good job cleaning up.
it? Scooping the poop,
Yeah.
literally.
Yeah.
That's a no sides scoop. Man, that one's got a pretty tail on it.
Oh, yeah, with that
Wide.
wide about halfway down.
Yeah. Got a couple of black ones out there. One is totally black, and the bigger one is definitely probably, does it tell you the weights? I'm going to guess a couple of 100 pounds more for the one with the white tail.
No, it's only about 16 pounds heavier.
Sure looks bigger, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's 18. I can't do math, John.
What?
It's 18 pounds heavier.
Oh, okay. Well, the girls out there have been out there already showing others, and the first ones were a whole lot easier for them.
Oh, yeah.
These two are being a little contrary. They've got their parents out there with them, their daddies. At least the Chickadans is out there, right?
No, that's Stephen
Holmes.
Holmes. Yeah.
While we got a little break in the time here, I want to mention our sponsors. Hargis Trucking, Western Equipment, Lemon Law, Boxwell Brothers, and United Food Store. We appreciate all these people. If you're out and about and you've heard us or seen it, tell them thanks, would you? That you appreciate it. So we are still looking at a couple of steers that has taken his time. Not being easy to decide on here. Now I believe we've got a decision, and we will hear from the judge, and I may eat a piece of biscuit.
Really excited one to start the class off with, and just in terms of style and class, and one that's extra elevated and got a little extra shot of length of body in that one, and still really stout, powerful, real high, gets around and moves really well. You know, he's not perfect. I think when that one gets out and goes, he wants to get just a little more rigid down his top and maybe a little drier and harsher in his flank compared to the rest of them. But I think a really cool one to start the class with. The one that comes into definitely a little ornery and not quite as well behaved, but a young lady did a great job sticking with that one. And one that balances really well, put together really well, and sound, functional. Just doesn't quite have the power and class to go with the one ahead of him today.
So we got.
Yeah, so, oh crap, I'm on the wrong page. But
Victoria Wright.
Victoria Wright came in first, I believe, and then Sydney Chickadance came in second. And
we'll go into the breed champion exotic.
Their speaker systems are working a lot better than they have in the past. Not so basic.
Yeah, they usually just crank that thing, but found a nice in between this year.
Yep. You can catch the results on the Facebook streaming as well. He's putting them on there, so
updating them just now
if you're wanting to know who won.
And we're going into breed champion
Our junior board is the ones
for
that go around and visit all the buyers and everything,
the
and
exotic
help us
breed
out on the board and so forth, and they're handing out
I'll
the
tell you
ribbons
what,
this
David,
year.
if
On
you'd
the
play a
junior
couple
board,
of
we
back-to-back
have Cassidy Butler,
livestock
Maddie
show
Chickadance,
spots, we would take a bite of biscuit and gravy.
Oh yeah.
Kyle
So
Murray,
just hit a couple, would you?
Rayleigh Law, and again, this will be your breed champion exotic steers. Class 3 winner Victoria Wright.
Mommy, I'm gonna go say hi to
Class 4
Daddy.
winner Jake Chickadance. Class 5 winner Lakin Boxwell.
Okay.
Class
So
6
this Facebook,
winner
KEYE
Victoria
does,
Wright.
or KEYE AMFM Live.
Yeah.
It'll pop. Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
And I'm on my fourth bite. In fact, I've almost finished one of the biscuits. But we've got breed champion out there right now. And it's taking a little time with it. Want to remind you, if you want to help on the sale, call Stephen Holmes and say, hey, I'd like to contribute 20 bucks to anything, and you pick it, and or if you have a person that a child that you know and a friend or something like that, say, hey, I'd like to help out purchasing their animal. And that's the way it works. They have teams, they got individuals, they've got companies. That's a good set of animals out there, though.
It is.
I'm telling you. These are well fed, I mean, they're finished.
Yeah. And
I've seen some some not finished ones come through this sale before this show.
But out there right now, Victoria Wright is showing her exotic steer out of Class 3. Jake Schickadance showing his first place exotic steer out of Class 4. Lakin Boxwell out of Class 5. And Victoria Wright again with her Class 6 first place. And now, for those of y'all that don't know, whenever they do the breed champions and even grand champions and such, they have all the first places come in. And then if the first place out of a class is picked, then the second place will come in from that same class and replace it.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. We got light colored black with a white tail. That's really interesting to me, the white tail one.
Yeah, you don't see much of those.
You'd almost think he had a little Hereford in him, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Some Charolais probably in this lighter one here, or maybe in that semi-light one back there. And all these kids that are showing these animals, folks, are about 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
Maybe no. I'm going to say maybe.
I'd say about
3.5 to 4.
Yeah.
Yep. They're not very big. There's only one that comes above the top of the shoulders of any of the animals in there.
Quality individuals come back in for the drive, and there's definitely some sort between them, just type and kind, and I think quality is there from top to bottom though. And honestly, it comes down to a pair to kind of sort between and figure out which way you want to go. And one of them I like, maybe not quite as far enough along, and maybe a little more immature, but definitely extremely high quality, just in terms of look and design and just being very proportional and extra shot of power. And then there's a little bit bigger one that's a little more game ready today, and I definitely think it just excels in terms of extension and quality and presented very, very well. And when it comes down to it, I think that heavyweight does the most things right today.
And so that's going to be Victoria Wright out of Class 6 being the breed champion.
White tail.
Yeah. I believe this is her first year showing.
Okay,
pretty good way to start out your stock show career.
Yes, it is.
Victoria Wright. Now, second place in that class, Sydney Schickadance will come in to compete with the reserve breed champion exotic.
And so Victoria Wright exiting the show ring, while Sydney Schickadance comes in, I can't talk, out of Class 6.
How'd you ever get a job with the West Texas school if you can't talk?
I don't know. They'll just hire anybody.
Yeah,
Can you
they
believe
will.
that? Nah, because they believed I was organized.
Is that what it was?
That's what they said.
Well, I'd have to go along with that. You've worked up some pretty good stuff for showing on the Facebook Live and got us some information off the website.
Yeah, speaking of Facebook Live, would you mind turning us up a little bit for Facebook?
Okay.
I'm going out of that.
This one here?
I'm going out of the headphone jack right there.
Okay.
Just need cranked up a little bit. Yep, that should do us.
So now competing for your reserve breed champion exotic.
All right.
Sydney Schickadance.
Sydney Schickadance coming in, but Maddie
Victoria
Schickadance
Wright.
is showing for her.
Jake Schickadance, Lakin Boxing.
Once again, two blacks in there, one with a little bit of white on his tail, and the two Charolais or Simmental looking breeds. They're all mixed, and they don't. I'm not even sure they would have whether they know what's been mixed from their people they bought them from. Do you? Whoops, one got away from Maddie.
I don't think so, but I believe the Schickadances might know because I think they're out of their own herd.
Yeah, probably so. Yeah, wanted over toward the gate more than out there in the middle.
Yeah, I believe this is the same one that was giving Sydney Shigadance a little bit of trouble leaving the ring.
Yeah, they're taking her out.
So, reckon she forfeited that?
I don't know.
Study on these individuals for reserve.
So.
There's one I like a whole lot in here, and it was hard not to use the first time, and we're definitely not going to do that again. And I think just in terms of proportions and extras, and maybe not the farthest along, but one that I think when the time's right, a little farther down the road, is going to be a whole lot of fun. And we're going to use the Young Lee's lightweight for reserve.
And that's going to be, not sure who that is.
Is that Sydney?
No, that's
that's
Victoria.
Victoria.
Right? Is it? Yeah.
Victoria Wright.
Getting breed and reserve breed champion for the exotic.
Okay, the winner of the reserve breed champion exotic is Victoria Wright.
Yeah.
Okay, now we'll do the grand champion steer. The breed champion English was Lakin Boxwell. And the breed champion exotic will be Victoria Wright. They'll be competing for the grand
Lakin Boxwell and Victoria Wright competing for the grand champion.
Yep.
You need to come out and eat something, folks.
Oh,
got
yeah.
good food.
It's good.
I don't know whether they have the burritos ready yet or not, but the biscuits and gravy are just outstanding, and you can get them with sausage, egg, and cheese on the breakfast burrito. That sausage gravy's outstanding.
I think that breakfast burritos are new this year.
I think they are too, yeah.
I think they've had them before. And here comes
Victoria.
Lakin. That's Lakin Boxwell.
Oh, is that Lakin?
Yeah. Yeah, Lakin wears the hat.
Ah, okay.
And then here comes Victoria right behind her.
She's all of 3 inches taller, isn't she?
Yeah. Well, you know, if you're judging from the top of the hat to the bottom of her foot,
these girls weigh more than 30 pounds.
Oh, no.
And they're pulling all their might on these big old steers.
Stephen Holmes giving some help, and I'm not sure who that guy is in between the two, but
he's been herding them around, hasn't he?
Yeah.
This morning.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, thank you. All right, and that's Stephen Wright helping him out in the ring.
Yeah,
right there.
Victoria's daddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that. Gotcha.
Coffee's good too.
Is it? Yeah.
You can mess up coffee.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I went to see, I'm not much of a coffee drinker.
You know how healthy it is? Pulse of radio on my So Let's Talk.
Oh, yeah?
It's good for pancreas. It's good for the liver. Good for digestion. I could have told you that without.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Every morning, cup of coffee, and then off to the John.
Yeah.
With John.
Is that going to be a new segment? What happened to our third partner in crime, Thomas Beal?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm going to go over and ask Wes. Well, you want to talk?
Sure. All right, folks. And Lakin Boxwell leading off the grand champion drive here for the exotic steers. And Victoria Wright behind her. And Victoria's showing that bit of a kind of cool colored one. I really like that. I think that's something me and John both really agree on.
Definitely an impressive set of steers, top to bottom, and I think is very high quality. Exhibitors have done an amazing job, and we come down to these two, and I don't think they're the same, and they're not alike, but out of their respective divisions, I think those were by far the two highest quality individuals that we could bring back to represent the drives, and I think there's some give and take here, definitely a lot of future, and two calves that I'd be extremely excited to have, especially with the shows we've got coming up here. For me, there's one that just does it a little better in terms of extras and just combining everything and coming out on top a little bit better. We're going to use the exotic to win.
All right, and that's going to be Victoria Wright.
With the black with the tail.
Yep, out of Class 6 with that one.
Mostly Angus, beat the Shorthorn.
Yeah. And
so they bring in the what now?
Okay, your grand
they're going to be bringing in Sydney Shikadance. Wait, no. Oh, no. Victoria Wright's just swapping out for Victoria Wright.
Successful show.
Oh, yeah.
Hope you folks are enjoying this as much as we enjoy bringing it to you. I want to tell you thanks to Perryton Ochiltree Chamber of Commerce, Perryton Insurance, Interstate Bank, Motor Parts, and First Bank Southwest. Partial sponsors of the Ochiltree County Junior Livestock Show and sale tomorrow.
That Parade of Champions starts about 1 o'clock.
Right.
And then they just go through the sale from there.
Yeah, and the people that typically buy, that they feed a steak dinner.
Yeah.
Prior to that.
You know, that's something. So my family, my mom and dad always get an invite to go to the buyer's dinner.
Yes.
And my dad's wanted to go forever, but Mom won't let him. So.
Why not?
I don't know.
Well, it's good.
Yeah. I think he might go tomorrow. If not, I'll go in their place.
It's a little more challenging trying to pick for reserve here. Two individuals definitely both deserving. And there's one I think is just a little stouter and burlier and not quite as slicked up today. And I understand we've got bigger shows down the road and keep some of that hair on and get them fresh later. And then there's one that's a little more tricked out and maybe a little extra today. I don't know that he's quite as far along in terms of maturity and stoutness, but I think too that match up really well in terms of quality. And I'll go ahead and put the mic down. We'll go pick a reserve.
All right, Macon Stork going to make his pick for reserve grand champion out of the steer division.
I'm going to go with the Shorthorn.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Oh, maybe? Yeah.
Yep.
That's going to be Lake and Boxwell.
Lake and Boxwell with the
reserve grand champion
Shorthorn.
Ooh, I can't spell. There we go.
Again, grand champion steer, Victoria Wright. Reserve grand.
All right.
Outstanding show, really.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, these animals were really good looking, well filled out, well fed, and for the most part, pretty well trained too.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to understand, most of these kids in there didn't weigh 50 pounds.
Wow.
And there's a certain streak in cattle that, you know, why am I paying attention to you? I could squash you like a bug, you know?
Yeah.
And, but all in all, there goes the grandfather of the, congratulations, Dick Boxell.
Okay, now we're rolling.
And, you know, something to be said is about whenever these cattle do act up for them, those kids are staying calm and not losing it.
These weighing in at, Evans weighing in at 8:42 and Lakin's weighing in at 11:06.
And, yeah, we're going right into the heifers, the heifers.
How many heifers do we have?
We got, hang on, we got 2, 1. So 3, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, we got 10 of them, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 classes. 6 classes.
One in a class by itself.
Yeah.
The heaviest one.
2 of them in a class by itself. Got class 6 and class 2.
Oh, yeah. Trevin McKinley. Those are the heavyweights of both of the different divisions. We got breed champion, reserve breed. They'll be coming in here shortly.
Yep, and these are registered heifers.
Mm-hmm. They don't sell them. I mean, they don't sell them for beef.
Right. Yeah.
I tell you what, let's take a break and hear a couple of three of our sponsor spots and our salutes to the 4-H'ers and FFA'ers, and hit 3, and we'll be back with the livestock show after that.
Again, this will be your first class of heifers. We have Evan Bourne, his registered heifer, and then Lakin Boxell with her registered heifer. Weighing in anywhere at 842 is Evans and Lakin at 1106.
Got a couple out in the show ring. Evan Bourne with a registered Hereford, looks to me. Only weighs 842, and that's 266 pounds less than Lakin Boxwell's registered. What are you going to say? Is that a Charolais? Where's your mic? There's your mic.
There we go.
Okay.
I'd say so. But, you know, Evan Bourne makes that calf look tiny.
Yes, he does. The Bournes have been cattle breeders for a long time.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of work. Here comes Scott Strong. Do you want to talk to us?
Well, sure.
All right.
John, I'm going to take a quick break.
All right. Do it. So, yeah, use that one.
So what we got going here?
Oh, we got the heifer show. Evan Bourne and Lakin Boxwell out there. And, you know, the Bournes, you're familiar with them. They've raised registered heifers for a long time, haven't they?
Yes, they have. I believe that
That's
heifer.
fair to start a heifer show off with. And the one that wins just does so pretty easily to me. One that's just got all the extras. I think that one gets around really well. A little extra shot of structure and feature in that one, and still paints a pretty picture off to the side, and really square, functional one that does a great job to win the class. The one that comes in 2, that one definitely gives up some size and maturity, but I think as far as extension and design, that one's really, really neat. And I think that one does a little bit better job there down her top, and she's just a little stronger and leveler there, but just gives up some power and maturity, and one that I'd like to see a little farther down the road. But really nice heifer to come in
So
second.
Boxwell's still on a run here.
Well, we showed 2 registered heifers together, but they're both different breeds.
Yes.
Is what happened there, because there's just one of each. So they went
All right,
ahead and just
last
put them
one
together.
here is
Uh-huh.
Boxell,
And
Second place,
That
Evan Bourne.
one registered heifer is not even a
Class
full blood.
2,
She's
the
a
single
pre-
entry,
they can
Trevin
register
McKinley.
cattle that aren't full blood.
Oh, really?
Registered
But
heifer weighing
you know, there's
in
quite a bit of difference in those
1331.
two breeds.
Yeah, there are.
And so
Is that a Charolais?
it was
the other one?
Charolais main Anjou cross.
Okay.
And but I think
How do you spot the main Anjou?
Well, it's actually a registered Chianina, so it actually has some Chianina in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's how she's been showing that in other shows.
Yeah.
But and that other was a registered Hereford. But
I was looking at
Thank you.
my pictures, and I was thinking that the Chianinas were a little wider than the Charolais. Yeah, there's a picture of it.
a full blood Chianina, and they're
And
from
long-legged.
Italy. Well, they're the largest breed of cattle,
Is that right?
and but the full bloods are just huge.
Huh.
And they originated in Italy,
Yes.
but they put just a minute amount in a lot of cattle to get the growth. But their breed association will register small percentage. So that one heifer, even though she was registered, she was pretty much a cross. In lots of ways.
Yeah. It didn't look Chianina, and they
Really nice
talk about the
individual.
legs are
Class
really.
2 here. One who does a great job just as far as design and build, and it gets out here and just floats across
Trevin
the
McKinley
ring
by
and
himself
just
out there.
To be flawless. in terms
He's
of
gonna be
structure
first
and
place.
build. And one that looks like he can go home and turn this one out. She definitely
You know,
did a
John,
job
you're
for
talking
you
about
in a fast
Chianinas.
scenario.
They're
And
pretty
when
new
they
actually to
bring
America.
the
They only
Yeah.
got brought over in
and
72.
design to make a show cap as well. So
Yeah, I
very
can tell you
good
stories
individual
because my
class.
dad used a lot of Chianina cattle when I was a kid in the 70s, and it's a long story.
What,
There was a lot-
what attracted him to them? The
growth-
size?
the size of the
All right,
growth.
now we'll go ahead and roll into
You know-
the breed champion registered heifers. Out of class 1, we'll have Lake
That
and
class
Buffalo
winner
come back in. Class 2 winner, Trevin McKinley.
Trevin had is a registered Simmental. Even though it's black, it's primarily Simmental, but it has some Angus in it.
Yeah, and can you see it, or do you just know?
Well, I can kind of see it, but I know the cattle because I've been working with the kids, and I've seen the registration papers on them.
Yeah.
But anyway, some of them you gotta guess at it, but I've seen enough cattle and their breed characteristics. I can.
Let me ask you, you said it was Simmental, but so many of these crosses that you see there's a lot of black ones.
Lake and
And
Buffalo's
that's
registered heifer
dominant
weighing in
color, isn't it?
1106.
Yes.
And
Angus
Trevin
based.
McKinley's
You know, your
registered
cows will
heifer
be
weighing
Angus
at
based, and then you use bulls to cross them. And of
Okay.
course, a lot of those heifers you raise will be crossbred heifers, and you breed back. But you know, those breed associations all have different rules on what can be registered and not.
I see.
Yeah. What percentage? Some of them have to be full blood. Some of them are registered as purebreds, which is kind of a nearly a full blood with a tick of whatever else in them, and then they have composite registration lines, that sort of thing.
So a lot of these registered herds are not the same registered herds of old.
Yes, some of them are.
Are they?
Some of them are just straight blood, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Seems to me back in the 50s and 60s, they were pretty well straight bloods.
but that's a whole different ball game. And of course, when you go to bigger heifer shows, you know, we'll have just straight Angus classes and straight Hereford classes and straight whole Herefords and
Will you?
straight oh, you bet.
And
There's enough numbers.
Straight
you know.
blood, huh?
You bet.
Uh-huh.
You bet.
Now
And
look-
there'll be 20 head in there.
Is that right?
And then you'll have some of these, what they call composite classes, where then it's a percentage register. Depends on
On the breed.
on the breed association and what their rules are. And they might have straight blood classes, but then they might have classes, okay, this is a mixture that we allow in this breed association, and they're registered under that chain link or
Yeah.
whatever.
So what motivates people that don't raise these? Why do they buy particular breeds? Do you know?
Well, every breed again has different advantages and disadvantages.
Do you think they make decisions with respect to how they think the judges have been working the animals, or not?
Yes, but if you're looking at going into just the registered
Feed here
business,
to compete for the drive here. Definitely some differences in terms of type and kind. There's one a little more moderate stouter and comes at you with a little extra shot of feature and just overall dimension. And then we talked the heavier one there that's just really elegant in terms of design and structure and gets out and floats really well and does a lot of things right. For me, there's one just got the extra advantage in terms of shape and dimension, and we're going to use the lightweight to win.
All right. So
it's going to be Lake and Boxwell as your breed champion for the registered heifers.
Okay, so your breed champion registered is Lake and Boxwell. So now we'll go ahead and have Evan Bourne bring his registered heifer in out of that first class.
And then,
compete for reserve breed champion.
so Evan Bourne's coming in now with his Hereford heifer. That's what my family races, John.
is it?
Yep. Going through and doing all the registration stuff right now.
Yeah. Are they horned?
Yeah, we got a couple of them that are.
yeah, the Pole Hereford Association and Horn Hereford Association
Are separate?
Nope, they joined up now.
Oh, did they?
Several years ago.
McKinley out of class 2
So-
competing for reserve breed champion registered heifer.
So yeah, there's this Hereford Association.
I don't think that Hereford got much of a chance. She's just too small, isn't she? Not finished out enough?
Well, she's younger. It's just an age situation.
Doesn't it? Does it not play in their how they judge if they're a lot smaller?
Assistant Superintendent
What do you
Gary
mean?
Murray, Secretary and Treasurer.
A while ago, he said she just wasn't finished out like the other one.
Right, and there's an obvious age difference there.
Yeah.
And so it's judge's preference.
Okay.
If you showed that heifer with that same age, like and kind, she would be very competitive.
Right.
But now you're this is at the point now, this is a really nice apple and this is a really nice banana, but I like bananas. And so that's what the judge is doing.
Yeah.
But if you'd taken this apple with all these other apples, that's a really good apple.
Yeah.
There's differences in age and maturity, but I think a very nice pair that fits in really well together. They're both really good looking, really sound, really good built ones that look like really functional females. They can go home and do a guy a really good job. For me, there's one that just comes at you with a little more dimension and maturity, and we're going to use the heavyweight for reserve.
That's going to be Trevin
McKinley.
Yep.
Came in reserve breed and the Hereford. I think it did in his eyes make a difference.
Well, those are both really nice heifers.
Yeah.
And that heifer that Evan has, that little Hereford, she's nice. She could be very competitive in a Hereford show in class.
It wasn't too long ago that there was a Hereford did it win Fort Worth? It was one of those majors.
It was a steer show.
Yeah, it was a steer show.
And that's pretty rare, but we've seen Hereford steers occasionally win the majors.
Yeah. But I remember it was a big deal because it was like first time in several years that one had been picked for it. All right, so that's going to be your breed champion, Lake and Boxwell, and Trevin McKinley, your reserve breed.
Now we're getting into the heifers that are not registered. They're just crossbred heifers, and they broke them by weight classes.
So do they raise them to go as brood heifers somewhere?
A lot of times they'll be replacement heifers for cows. Sometimes they'll just be feeders and end up in the feed yard.
But the registered ones typically do go for breeding somewhere, right?
Yes, a lot of them will turn into cows.
But when you feed a heifer, they're not gonna feed out like a steer, are they?
No, when you look at this actual feed yard feeding of heifers, there's a little bit of not quite as much feed efficiency. When we talk about feed efficiency, the amount of feed it takes to put on a pound of gain, and a heifer is not quite as efficient. Steers will gain quicker with a little bit less feed and put a little more flesh on.
From the packer standpoint, do they like them the same per pound?
They'll strictly look at the grade and yield on them,
Really?
quality, grade, and yield. But on the feeding side of things, it's mainly an efficiency issue. But a lot of times, carcass quality, you can't tell a lot of difference in them.
Heifers don't feed out as heavy, do they?
Typically not on the top end.
100 pounds, maybe?
Maybe. They don't get quite as big as the steers.
They used to 1,100 is where they tried to feed them out to. Is that still the truth or the same?
I think it's a little heavier.
Is it? These are young heifers here, aren't they?
Yeah, they were born back in, I think, February, March, April, last spring. They're about 8 months old.
Which one of them out there showing is Avery?
The one on our right.
Okay, and the blue, light blue shirt?
That is, both of them are Avery's heifers, and
yes.
So she's got a helper in there showing her other one.
Yeah.
That's Tana Williams.
She had her own steer, didn't she?
Yes,
Tana
she did.
Yeah,
Tana had a steer.
So, Scott, what's your favorite breed of cattle to work with?
You know, I typically like Maine Angus cross cattle. I know when I was helping my dad in the cow business, he had a lot of Maine Angus cross. We had a little bit of Charolais in them.
Yeah.
But it was a composite of about those three breeds. They were smoky colored. A lot of them were solid black. And those cattle did real well. But the cows were just black based.
Yeah.
But they had a little bit of Maine Anjou. They were all about half-blood Maines, quarter-blood, half-blood Angus, quarter-blood Maines, quarter-blood Charolais. And when he would take them to the sale, they would bring the money.
Oh, yeah.
And they would grow and gain good. You know, he had a pretty good reputation. But that's on a personal level, so yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But I like all cattle, to be honest. But, you know, if you have a real good haired, gentle Hereford, that makes a great project for a kid starting out, because a lot of their disposition on those Herefords are real gentle.
Extremely close pair here, two extremely high quality individuals. The one we're going to start with just bounces up a little bit better off to the side. She's a little more refined and slicker about her head and neck, and a little leveler down her top line. And I do wish she had just a little more turn to her rib and depth of body like the one that comes in too. But again, just in terms of balance and design, she's going to lead the class off.
Well, I'm going to have to step out.
All right, I wanted to ask you a question.
And turned her rib there. And,
when we were when we got out of the registered breed and we were running commercials on wheat,
really good design ones that get around the range.
I had preferences and I had non-preferences for wintertime on wheat.
Sure.
We didn't have good luck with Charolais.
Okay,
sure. Well, and those European, those continental breeds, those exotic continentals, if they're high percentage, they can be hard doing cattle. But when they're crossed in with these British breeds,
yes, yeah, the crossbreed has made them a whole lot better.
Made them way better. But that's where you get the muscle and the growth. But the British breeds gave us the fleshing ability. And I think that's the difference.
And I think, you know, Herefords are about as hardy against bad weather as any of them.
Oh, you bet. And all breeds, again, have their advantages and disadvantages. And when we talk about crossing them, we all think, okay, I'm going to bring this breed, and it's going to have all these advantages. But you got to remember, you're bringing the disadvantages.
They're not done in a petri glass, are they?
They aren't. So you're still bringing all the bad along with the good too.
Yeah.
But anyway,
all right, Scott.
I'll
thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it.
You bet.
Scott Strawn talking with us. I'm John Elzey along with Isaiah Tanner, and we're bringing you the stock show today. Something Scott was asking me questions a while ago when we started doing this. Good Lord, I can't remember. I'm sure it had to be.
While we're going through,
I don't know.
Go ahead and recognize KEYE over there.
I don't know. Yeah, we're getting recognized.
The show for us today, and let's give them a round of applause. They're always here supporting the kids every year for the stock show, and we really appreciate everything they do for the kids and everything. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
And speaking of the stock show, But as long as I have been associated with KEYE, I believe we've done it. Now, I take that back. We used to not set up. We used to just be here and report.
Oh, gotcha.
Because I can remember doing it with Shorty Deer, and you don't know him, but there were the Deer brothers, and they were good athletes, and Shorty worked for John Deere, and I sat there at the announcers table with him and kept track and would call in.
Yeah.
So we didn't always do it, but I think probably in the 80s sometimes when we started doing live broadcasts and interviewing people. So it's been a while.
Yep.
Let's see. If it was 82, that's 40 years.
40 years, yeah.
So what do we got out there now?
We got Hadley
Did
Cowan.
we give the results of the last bunch? I think I was talking to Scott
Avery
at the time.
Shigoda got first and second place. So.
Yeah. Which one got well, they were pretty identical, weren't they?
Yeah, I think the 803, the lighter one, got
First.
Okay. But Hadley Cowan and Kylie Cowan out there in the ring right now.
And, I would like to say I know who their parents are, but there are so many Cowans around. Do you know?
It's Shauna Cowan, and then, I can't think of her husband's name.
Registered heifers, we have Hadley Cowan weighing in at 922
Not
with
sure.
his.
I know.
Is it
Shauna,
coach?
No, it's not the coach.
Okay.
Shauna Cowan's her mother.
She's in insurance, isn't she?
No, she's, I think, the attendance clerk at the school.
Okay.
So, yeah. Yeah, anytime I go up there, because I'd have to go up there and eat lunch with Mom and stuff, and I was home for break, and I'd have to sign in for her.
Good pair with a lot of similarities here. For me, where the sword is the one that wins just has a little extra shot of extension and look up front, and just bounces up a little bit better when you get off to the side. The 1 and 2, I definitely like that one's center body a little better. That one's softer and a little fresher, a more pliable through her rib and center body. It just doesn't quite have the look, and extension is the one that comes above her. But a really nice pair to start the class.
Did you catch which one was which?
No, I didn't. I'm not sure.
Class 4, unregistered heifer, winning that class is Kylie Cowan.
Okay, so Kylie
Second
Cowan.
place, Hadley Cowan.
Okay.
Now we'll roll on
Hadley
into
Cowan.
class
The smaller,
5,
or
unregistered
the red
heifers.
one, the shorthorn one.
There's weighing in at 1,029. Ella Cowan with that one weighing in at 1,130. Registered heifers, class 5.
Okay, so the Angus came in second to the shorthorn on that one.
Yeah, I think so.
Ella Cowan and Trevin McKinley
Yep.
showing now. Definitely larger animals. 100 or more heavier than the last two. 962 and 922. No, I'm sorry, 1130 and 1029.
Yeah.
Trevin looks like he's got some Charlet, and that Angus has got a lot of leg, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Angus is shown by Ella Cowan. Did he say there's some main anjou in those type of, instead of just Charlet?
I think so. I think it's a little bit mixed in with it.
Mm-hmm. Kind of interesting black spot right on its right hip.
Oh, yeah. That is interesting.
Black spot of hair.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's got black a little bit on its tail.
Yeah. Trevin McKinley and Ella Cowan showing.
Yep. Trevin McKinley's going to be first place. Ella Cowan's second place.
Very high quality one to start this class off with, I think she wins pretty easily in my mind. One that's just got a lot of extras in terms of power and dimension, and really big top, really big featured, yet still has some feminine pieces, and then looks like a lady where she needs to. And I think that one balances up extremely well. She's sound, good build, lots of extras, and really high quality to start the class with. The one that comes in two, that's a very good looking one. I mean, when you get up to the side, she's really elegant, really extended. Great look and sound, just not quite as much product and overall dimension to compete with that one that comes in first.
Yeah, the
really nice
Angus looks like a cow.
Yeah.
The Charolais or Maine Anjou white one looks a little more.
Okay, winning class 5 is Trevor McKinley and come in.
I don't know,
second,
steerish,
Ella
wider, broader.
Now rolling to class 6. It's going to be a single entry, unregistered heifer, weighing in 1,356.
Tall tail on that black one.
Oh, yeah. Class
Got a good crowd out here, but plenty of places to sit. If you want to come out and get some good food, they're probably still serving the biscuits and gravy.
Oh, yeah.
And may have the breakfast burritos by now. Nachos, chili cheese nachos, Frito pie, cheeseburger meal, which includes chips, dessert, and drink. And their desserts are all handmade, aren't they?
I believe so, yeah.
Good stuff. Cokes, hot chocolate, bottled water, Dr. Pepper, Diet Dr. Pepper, Coke, Diet Coke, and Sprite, and coffee. So come on out and enjoy and get you something to eat. It's we're having a good show. We're moving right along. It's 10 o'clock. We're not yet through it's been a pretty long cattle sale show. Yeah. Got 4 pages of it, and but we're moving along. Then, of course, after that, the pigs are always after lunch. Then we'll do the sheep and then the goats.
Yep. Kinley Stone with her unregistered heifer.
All right. John, do you have the junior board names?
No, I don't.
I'm going to go grab them then.
Okay. Want to thank our sponsors for helping to bring this to you. And if you see them out and about and you remember who they are, well, tell them thanks, would you? Let me find the sheet and see where to start. Okay. Equity Exchange, Plains Land Bank. Stephen Holmes with Plains Land Bank. Panhandle Producers and Royalty Owners Association. Ochiltree County General Hospital. And Scribner Construction. Thanks to all those guys. We really appreciate their help. And I know you do too if you're listening or watching on live stream on KEYE Facebook. And you get to see, if you look on it right now, you'll see animal coming in to the sale show ring. And I'm going to have to turn my page to see who this is. This is Kinley Stone, and she's showing a heifer by itself, unregistered, crossbreed, weighs in at 1,356 pounds, so it's going to be first place in that class. Only one in it. Big animal. 1,356. Heifer, that's a good sized heifer. And there we go. We're trying to get the hind feet square, and it was square for about 5 seconds. Then he moved one forward, hind feet. I was never any good at that. Could have been my attitude, I suppose. I work cattle
very nice
pretty much every day, and
one that,
playing with them was my idea of fun.
That's a really good built one, really good designed. She's great in her angles, very sound, very fluid in her movement. A little bigger scale than some of the others we've had, and I think it fits and she balances really well. She's got plenty of power and shape to her to go with all that look, and and design. I think that's a really high quality one that'll be real neat to bring out in the drive here in just a second.
Kinley Stone wins first out of 1.
Yeah, and John, I got those junior board names.
Okay.
So we got Tatum O'Quinn, Tyler Cook, Austin Merrick, Cassidy Butler, Kyle Merrick, Carson Pribble, Rayleigh Law, and Maddie Schickadance.
You see that Tatum came out yesterday or day before yesterday. Kyle came out. And Rayleigh O'Quinn came out the other day. And Kyle O'Quinn and Donovan, they aren't the.
Okay.
Yeah, came out on coffee break and really enjoyed talking to them. Good group of kids. Not shy. You ask them a question, they answer it. And Isaiah, I believe you were on coffee break a few times as a kid.
Yeah, that's kind of what got me wanting to work for you.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah. Okay, we got 1, 2, 3 exhibitors, and they're all black. Where is that? Oh, we're going for the champions now?
Yeah, we're doing a breed champion right now.
This will be the breed champion drive of the unregistered heifers.
Yeah, breed champion of the unregistered heifers.
Avery Shigoda, Kylie Cowan,
yep,
and Trevin McKinley,
and Kinley
and
Stone.
Kinley Stone. Where's she? Coming?
Well, I think she's in there, and Trevin McKinley's trying to get in there.
Okay.
He's having a little bit of difficulty.
Yeah. Yeah, that steer has a black spot on, or heifer has a black spot on both legs. Look at that.
Yeah. Well, that's got one on the front shoulder, too.
Uh-huh. Had a little trouble coaxing him in. Yeah, there's a little black on the tail in there. Tint. I guess they shave the tails down to the very tassel anymore, don't they?
No, not really.
Well, it looked to me like Charolais might have been sheared, but maybe not.
Yeah, and you know, John, something I've noticed, at least with the goats, as far as shearing goes, people have stopped doing fully clipping the goat. What they'll do is they'll just cut out pretty much a rectangle out of the back where the judge feels, just to keep more hair on the goat, keep them warmer. Yeah.
Where they don't shiver and lose weight.
Yeah, lose it all off.
That's interesting. They brought that up the other day. They said that that happens a lot, shivering and this. Oh, okay.
But coming around now, doing the breed champion right here. Leading off is Avery Shigoda out of Class 3, Kylie Cowan out of Class 4, and Trevin McKinley out of Class 5, with Kinley Stone coming out of Class 6. So, watching how this one goes. Macon Stork being the judge today, and he's going to be doing all 4 shows. He's got the cattle show, the sheep show, the goat show, and the pig show. So, and still waiting on figuring out who's going to be breed champ. And looks like we've made the decision. He's going to go get the microphone. Give us some reasons.
Good set here to bring in for the drive, and the one I'm going to land on is in my mind just an outlier in terms of feature and stoutness, and definitely the heaviest muscle, and the burliest one, yet still being good looking, sound, functional one that just kind of combines everything in the total package. Where's young man out of Class 5 to win?
Oh, Trevin McKinley.
Yeah, it's going to be Trevin McKinley coming out of Class
2.
Yeah. No,
He was.
because we're doing
Oh, Class
registered
5.
right now. Yeah, so he's got a Class 5.
Trevin McKinley out of Class 5. So now Ella
I believe he just started showing last year or the year before. Pretty recently.
Well, I've known McKinley's for a long time. I don't know who his parents are. Do you?
No, I don't.
So we're going for the reserve breed champion now.
Okay, competing for your reserve.
And so, since Trevin McKinley went out, Ella Cowan came in, right? Yeah, that's Ella Cowan.
Ella Cowan, Kinley Stone.
And I think he's already made a decision. Yep.
Yeah, didn't take him long, did it?
No, it didn't.
The second place comes back in, and again, we talked about when it clashed, being really cool and neat and really feminine and great built, and one that maybe lacked a little bit of power in class, but I think comes out and fits in really well in the drive. For reserve, there's another one. I think it's not quite the same type and kind as the one that won, but in terms of just sheer quality and having the extras and the pieces that I like, we're going to use a young lady out of Class 6 for reserve.
And that's going to be
Kinley Stone.
Kinley Stone.
That was another single
Yeah.
class. The larger of these 4 heifers. So,
An issue there.
Okay, your reserve breed, unregistered.
All right, so breed champion for unregistered heifers is going to be Trevin McKinley, and reserve breed is going to be Kinley Stone.
So we'll have Lakin Boxwell come in with her breed champion registered heifer, and we'll have Trevin McKinley come in with his breed champion.
Lakin Boxwell and Trevin McKinley coming in for the grand champion.
Yep. And then after that, we're going into showmanship. And I always liked showmanship more than just the regular classes.
Did you?
Yeah. Well, one, I think I always did a little bit better in showmanship. But
You showed better than the calf did.
yeah, the goat.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I always like that just because, they're not judging the goat, they're judging how you're.
Yeah. You have some control, don't
carrying
you?
yourself.
You have
Yeah,
some
you have
control over how well you do.
Yeah. You got a little bit more control than,
Well, both those animals have the black one, just more.
It's more of the spots.
Yeah.
Man, that is interesting.
Yeah. Both of them have them on both hind legs.
Yeah. Seen them before with, having kind of fading into that dark stuff. But
Yeah.
never just a spot of it.
Lakin Boxwell with hers and Trevin McKinley with his.
So this is Lakin Boxwell with her heifer out of
Class 1.
Yeah, Class 1, and then this is Trevin McKinley in there with his
Out of Class 5.
Yeah, Class 5.
You're listening to KEYE 93.7 and 96.7 on the AM as well as AM 1400. Going to thank our sponsors once again. We got a large group of them, and we really appreciate their willingness to bring these shows to you, including Hargis Trucking, Western Equipment, Lemon Law Firm, Boxwell Brothers, United Food Store, and Perryton Ochiltree Chamber of Commerce. So if you in any of those businesses and you heard their name mentioned, please tell them you appreciate the effort to bring it to you. If you don't know, we are live streaming on Facebook, on KEYE's Facebook page. You can catch all the action, and it's real time.
I think it's just a 1 second delay, maybe 1 or 2.
All right, so what? That's real time.
I'm pretty proud of that. Last year we had a 30-second delay. So
Did we really?
Yeah, it was. I was sitting there.
Well, and we need to thank PTCI because
right.
they came out here. Gary Murray climbed up on top of this barn yesterday morning when it was, I don't know what, 12?
Yeah, 12 degrees.
And a wind out of the north, and bless his heart, put it up for us. But thanks to PTCI for that as well. Big time. Video takes a little more oomph than what they've got on the other channels out here at the barn. We've got in there Trevin McKinley and Kenley Stone. Both of them with the same type of animal. What did we decide? Maine Anjou or Charolais? But anyway, they're very light brown, not white, but very light brown.
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking for my sponsor sheet.
I probably ripped you off.
Oh, yeah.
I think both these individuals are extremely deserving and got lots of parts and pieces that I like. And they're not identical, but I think they're very similar, and close enough. Just in terms
Who you betting on?
And the way they're put together. One's maybe a little more elevated and slicker and neater about her front end. One's maybe just a little bit stouter and
kind of like him.
High, but I think a really nice pair. And definitely hard to sort through. In my mind, there's
Lake and Boxwell's just a little bit more beefier, I think.
Yep, Lakin.
All right, look at me go.
How about that? Lakin Boxwell, grand champ.
Yeah, and so that means they're going to be bringing in.
Okay, Bree.
Trevin McKinley.
Lakin Boxwell.
Right. Yeah, that's
so
right.
Now we'll have Trevin McKinley bring his other one in to compete for the reserve.
John, I have a pretty good guess that Trevin McKinley's going to get reserve.
Who are we bringing in?
Trevin McKinley.
And
Trevin McKinley.
Yeah. It's a done deal, you think?
I think so.
Okay, well, while we got a break in the action while they're trying to get him up to the show ring, we're going to mention the sponsors once more. Chad Johnson with Perryton Insurance, Interstate Bank, Mike Blassingame and all the folks at the Interstate, Motor Parts, Michael Rootson et al., a bunch of nice guys down there at Motor Parts. First Bank Southwest, Brady Urey and his contingent. Equity Exchange, and I saw Wes Beal a while ago.
Yeah.
He said that he thought maybe that Thomas was still a little under the weather.
Oh, I didn't know he was sick.
Yep. It got him.
Oh.
So he was going to be out here and keep track of it, but you managed to do that pretty well.
I try to.
We are in the non-registered.
We're doing grand
No.
champion for all the heifers.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Kylie Cowan bringing the Trevin McKinley's registered heifer out of Class 2 that was the reserve breed champion of the registered breed.
trying to get him to put his foot back, and he ain't wanting to do it. She got him to take it halfway back. She said, that's good enough.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you just got to take what you can instead of
Another one with a lot of
fidgeting
quality
with it.
comes in, to make the decision a little tougher for reserve. And one that's really good looking, really good design, shot more frame, and maybe a little more agility than the one that we already had out here. Obviously not quite as powerful and stout, but really elegant, really good looking, and definitely makes this decision just a little bit tougher. I'll put the mic down, and we'll go pick you a reserve.
All right. My guess,
Okay, well, what are you going to say?
Trevor McKinley. That's what I'm saying. I'm really using my critical thinking skills on that one, John.
Yeah, I believe that's what the deal is.
Yep.
Trevor McKinley, Lake and Boxwell,
And your reserve grand champion's going to be Trevor McKinley with his unregistered breed heifer.
So that's going to be.
So now we'll let them go out and kind of give them a little break for a minute. Then we're going to roll into our junior showmanship. We're going to have 2 heats in our junior showmanship. Steven said he has y'all lined back out there. Which heat's going to be? Who's going to be in the first heat? Who's going to be in the second heat? So if you'll get that first heat lined up, then we'll roll into that.
We're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsors and the salutes to the various kids. So while we're waiting for the junior champion showmanship people to come in, we'll take a break and hear about 3 spots from back at the studio.
The Lemon Law Firm supports and
Okay, this will be your junior showmanship. Like I said, we're going to have 2 heats. We'll let the judge pick out how many he wants to pick out for the first heat. Then we'll come back in with our second heat, and he'll pick out what he wants out of there. Then we'll kind of bring those back in and crown your junior champion showmanship and reserve champion showmanship.
Back. Got 4 exhibitors out there. Got 4 different types of animals too. Got a purebred Hereford, almost
And almost totally white.
yeah, Charolais,
Yeah, Charolais.
or could be some Chianina.
Yep.
And a Shorthorn and an Angus. They're all standing pretty well too, aren't they? Well,
Yeah, they are.
Chianina's got 1 foot forward
Yeah.
on the back.
And this is the first heat of the junior showmanship.
Do you know the kids out there? You want to say them?
All right, so that's Ella Cowan down closest to the gate. Hadley Cowan behind her with the, I believe that's a Red Angus. That's what I'm going with.
Shorthorn, I think.
Yeah. And then Tana Williams with the Charlet. And then that is...
She doesn't look at all like her mother, does she?
Tana?
Yeah.
Nah.
Spitting image.
Oh, yeah. And then Sydney Schickadance there with the Hereford. I'm sorry, I pronounced that wrong. It's Hereford.
No, it's not. Unless you're from England.
Oh, yeah. You ever?
Hereford.
Hereford. But, you ever?
Yeah, I think if you went to Hereford and pronounced it Hereford, they'd kick you out of the town.
Well, you know, if you're driving down to Hereford and it tells you to take that exit, it pronounces it Hereford.
What? Oh, on the
Like
yes,
on
it
your
does.
GPS,
Absolutely, it does. On Google Maps.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then if you're going, what was it?
that kind of speaks where they're from, doesn't it?
Yeah. And then they'd also do like Houston Street, because there's like Houston or something in San Antonio, like Houston Street.
You kind of wonder where they find these people, don't you?
Yeah.
That doesn't have much to do with the show, but it's interesting anyway.
Yeah.
Lots of cattle in Hereford. Speaking of Hereford, we're playing Hereford tonight in basketball.
Oh, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Boys and girls?
Here.
I might have to mosey up there and watch.
Yes, sir. Going to be 2 tough games.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's tough in the district this year, just about.
Yeah. My roommate last year is from Hereford.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
They got a lot of ag students in West Texas A&M, don't they?
Yeah, they really do. It's mainly an ag college. I mean, my roommate, he's a pre-vet major this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't envy him.
Hasn't
one
always
bit.
been. Tough classes, huh?
Yeah, he stays up till about 2 every night.
Oh, man.
I'm sitting there going, dude, why do you do that to yourself? He said, well, you know, time management.
Yeah. Learning to be a vet, studying to be a vet, is not for everybody. It's tough stuff.
Yeah. Speaking of vets, did you hear Randy Skaggs has a book coming out?
No, I didn't. Well, I did know that he had been working on one for a long time.
Yeah, he said it's going to come out fall of 2022.
Well, he's going to have some tales.
Oh, yeah.
There's no telling how many times he's had to go through the shots for getting bit by animals.
Oh, yeah.
I think he darn near gets a shot every year.
Probably.
For rabies. Got lots of, if you want to watch instead of listen while we shoot the stuff, we're live streaming. Maybe not on the money real time, but
no, I spoke too
it's
soon.
close.
Yeah. Should have just kept my mouth shut.
Yep. Well, the truth is that unless they're listening, they don't know.
That's true.
Now, listening is in real time, but
Yeah, the audio and the video sync up together on Facebook, but I'm not sure what he's doing.
well, we're moving again.
Is he? Oh, I think he's, yeah, because they got to pull him since they're doing heats. But I'm not sure who's getting pulled.
I'm not either. So the littlest one out there is staying in?
I'm not sure.
No, none of them are.
They're all leaving.
Okay, the judge picked his top 2 in that heat, so we'll send those back, and I will bring out our
Okay.
second heat where you can pick out of that second heat.
So what they're doing is they're bringing in the heats one at a time, and then the 2 from each of them are going to go in there and compete for.
So how's it been done
showmanship.
in the past?
They usually just cram everybody in there.
That's
for the
kind of what
junior
I thought,
showmanship.
rather than doing it by heats.
Yeah, but I think last year they got a little too crowded with it.
Well, you know, it'd be difficult to, I would think, be able to individual judge when every one of them are in there.
Yeah.
You don't really. For one thing, you got a lot of animals in there, and the animals, I can't like that.
Yeah. No, and especially with these cattle, they're a lot bigger than a sheep or a goat.
Man, look at the legs on that front one.
Those are fluffy.
Wow. I mean, he looks.
So coming in, we got Jake Schickadance. I think his name's Isaac Ariano.
Yes.
Yeah. Isaac Ariano. Not sure who's behind him, but then Lycan Boxwell and Victoria Wright. Gonna figure out.
Yeah,
who that-
you don't have any trouble with Lakin, do you?
No, it's pretty easy to figure that out.
The only one, with the exception of Ariano, out there with a hat on.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all lined up. First 2 are getting. Man, that front one.
I think that's Avery Shigoda out there.
That front one is set up perfectly.
Oh,
Look
wow,
at that.
yeah.
I
like
mean,
that little white on the end of its tail.
Yeah, I do too. Wasn't that a grand champ? The white-tailed one?
Let's see. No, there was the white half one that's down there, I think.
Oh. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, they're all set up except for the blondie again.
Yeah.
Got that left foot, then the white-tailed one, left foot's not back either.
No, I do like that whitetail one, though.
Yeah.
It's just a.
So they didn't do much it didn't seem to me, for a showmanship.
No, and usually they, whenever I would do showmanship, they would, the judge would go up and ask questions.
Right.
And it doesn't seem like he's really doing that, but I'm not. He might just have a different way of doing stuff.
Now they're walking for him.
Yeah. Jake Schickadance leading the pack.
Just walking around, folks.
Yep.
Can't do a play-by-play too much.
Yeah, it's going right now.
So while you're sitting there listening, I'm going to thank our sponsors once again. Plains Land Bank, Panhandle Producers and Royalty Owners Association, Ochiltree County General Hospital, Scribner Construction, all of them helping to bring the show, and we will be here for the sale, at least the
This is junior showmanship.
show of the champions,
After that, they'll do
and then we'll stick around for just a little bit while they dedicate the show and who they dedicate it to. Once the sale starts, we'll take our leave, but we'll be out here tomorrow Probably take the air around 12. No, we're going to be eating at 12. It's going to be closer to 1 o'clock before we take the air. And Parade of Champions will take a little bit. And then the dedication. Spent a little time. Macon is on this one. Macon Stork, the judge for today's show. We're going to be going into an afternoon today. I'm pretty certain of that.
Oh, yeah.
We've still got sheep and goats to go, and it's almost 11 o'clock.
Yep.
So he's walking on either side. Not asking any questions, but
No, he's not.
just watching the animals and the participants. And I believe we're going to have, I don't know what.
I don't know what that meant at all.
He pointed with 3 fingers back toward the back, and then he said the rest of them.
He's pulling Jake Schickadance and
They'll bring back the top 2 out of
Lake
the
and
first
Boxwell,
heat to compete for
and they're going to be
junior
going for
champion
junior
reserve
showmanship.
champion showmanship.
And coming back in is, well, we don't know that exactly yet. I'm feeling like it might be Ella Cowan and Tana Williams going back in.
Yeah, I see Tana
Since they're
with
standing
the
there ready.
animal.
Yeah, Ella Cowan's going in. Followed shortly behind her is Tana Williams.
And who did stay in?
Jake Schickadance and Lake and Boxwell.
It is very convenient when one of you knows them by sight.
Okay, these are your
I'm telling you, it's
top 4
those
out of
hats.
the 2 heats that we had for our junior showmanship. Now they're all competing for champion showmanship, junior champion showmanship.
Once again, if you're just joining us, you can watch the action on KEYE Facebook page. We're streaming, have been all morning. We'll continue to do so throughout the day. Hopefully we'll get out of here by 5:30.
Yeah.
Because I've got to go up and do a basketball game at 6. I'll tell you what else I'm going to do.
All right.
Turn it over to you because I'm going to go see a man about a horse.
All right. All right. Well, here we are, folks. Looking like he's starting to ask some questions. I think he's, yeah. Judge Macon Stork is putting his hands on the cattle and just checking them out, seeing how they react to whenever he's touching them. Jake Schickadance is, I believe that's a steer that he's showing. Jake Schickadance's steer was calm, cool, and collected whenever Judge Stork put his hands on him. And now he's checking out Ella Cowan's. And moving down to Tana Williams. Williams family always has pretty cattle whenever they bring them to this show here. I always like just looking at the cattle. Man, those things are pretty. Usually got more of a wider color to them, which you don't see too much of here unless it's shown by Williams. All right, he's sending them around the show ring here. Lake and Boxwell leading it. Jake Schickadance behind her. and Ella Cowan behind him. And Stephen Wright coming in to give her a bit of a hand as far as getting hers around. And coming in at the back of the bunch is Tana Williams. Moseying around the ring, seeing how they act when they walk. Judge Macon helping out Tana Williams get her steer moving. And it's not liking that idea of moving where it is. Taking about 3 people to try and get it going. And checking everything out. Keeps moseying over to the announcer's box, and then he kind of comes back. So we're not sure when he's making his decision or not. And Jeremy Anderson passing off the microphone to the judge. We're going to take a look here and
let's put our hands together for an extremely good group of junior showmen here. Very, very high quality set of individuals. They've been through the ring, most of them numerous times already. And every time they hit the ring, you'll find these 4. And they're always doing it right and doing a good job. And I think there's lots of things that go into showmanship. I think posture and intensity and aside from just the calf itself, but the individual. I mean, them having a mindset like they're here to compete and they're here to win. And then at the same time, when we bring the calf into it, there's a couple of them I think that get set up a little quicker in a little more timely fashion, and everything's appropriate and correct, and whether we're on the move or stand still. And some of them have some trouble getting around the ring, and that's okay. Sometimes they're a little stubborn, but they regroup, they don't lose focus, and I think this whole set from top to bottom has done an extremely good job. There's one that sticks out in my mind, and if y'all don't see it on the outside, that's fine. But there's one certain individual that's just digging it. I mean, they're getting after it, hustling. Intensity is off the charts, and I realize they probably haven't had just tons of ring time, and to be young and still getting after it, it's very, very impressive. We're going to use a young lady here on the end.
All right, that's going to be Lakin Boxwell, your grand champion showmanship for the cattle. Junior.
She was shocked.
Yeah.
She was shocked. Grinning
reserve,
big as
I think it gets a little closer, and there's a calf or two behaving a little better than others,
and that calf did behave for her too.
As far as the showmen themselves and then how they handle themselves and get around the ring and regroup when times are tough, and that takes a lot to not get flustered and down on yourself. But the young lady in the black over here does a very, very good job.
And Tana Williams is going to be reserved. And rightly deserved, I think.
Yeah, she does a good job.
She does do a good job.
So Lakin Boxwell, Tana Williams.
Yeah, Lakin Boxwell and Tana Williams.
And we're going to the seniors.
Yeah, going into the seniors. I need to make sure I write those names down.
And we're going to take a quick break and hear a word from our sponsors. And I just put my coffee over where you could knock it over with the wire from your...
Okay, champion junior showmanship was Lakin Boxwell. And reserve
got all my papers all wet now.
Oh, dear. We'll go get you some paper towels then.
Yeah, well.
Okay, now we'll have our senior showmanship come out.
We're going to take a break and play 3 spots from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the senior champion showmanship and reserve champion, the steer and heifer show. We'll be back after these.
Again, this will be our senior champion showmanship. There's one heat of the seniors, so there's going to be 5 seniors in here competing for the champion showmanship.
And we're back at Senior Showmanship in Ochiltree Expo. Good crowd this morning. Got lots of folks sitting around the ring. We talked about the ring earlier. It is definitely a larger ring than in years past. I just don't think there's any question about that. A little wider and certainly a little longer. And each of the events, at least as far as these steers and heifers are concerned, they've had lots of room to move now. Whether that'll be true in the pigs and the rest of them, it's something to be. Of course, they're a whole lot smaller, so they're going to take up a lot less room, so you can get more in there. But and that chips, or what is that? That's
that's wood shavings, but they like make it real fine, and then they have to spray water on it and stuff.
It really works well, doesn't it?
Yeah. I know they.
You walk out there, you never get down to the concrete.
No, they just started doing that last year, and I think it worked out better for them than just doing the wood chips.
Yeah,
and it's easier to clean up too, is what they say. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, you could clean that up with a front end loader.
Yeah.
Real easy. But those wood chips. I could see these big steers going all the way to the concrete, couldn't you?
Oh, yeah. And
we're about to have some results.
Group. I think these individuals have all done a great job, and then in my mind, there's two that sort themselves to the top pretty easily. And I know we didn't spend quite as much time here as we did on the juniors, but I don't think we had to. I think these two individuals surface themselves pretty easily, and they're not the same, and they go about it in a little bit different ways. I think there's one that's a little more intense and got a little more aggression about his posture and facial expressions, and I'm okay with that. I like it. I like him to be on point and in the game and ready to win, and does a great job. There's another one that's maybe a little more relaxed and reserved, but he always, everything's right. I mean, the calf's always right and does it with ease and very fluid, and on the walk, I mean, they have a very good pace. Head carriage is always right. Feet and legs are great when we get them stopped and set them up. And for me, the champion's going to be a young man with the Hereford heifer.
All right, that's going to be Evan Bourne, who's your grand champion with his Hereford heifer.
For reserve, we're going to go young man right here in the second spot.
Heifer?
Heifer. And that's going to be Trevin McKinley as reserve.
Evan Bourne, Trevin McKinley.
Yep.
Senior champion.
Yep.
And reserve champion.
Senior champion showmanship, Evan Bourne. Senior reserve champion showmanship, Trevin McKinley.
All right. So, does that do it? Are we starting on some
We're starting